and worry cannot coexist.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how do you get yourself out of that worry spiral? You go back to the truth. Who do I trust? Am I trusting me to get me out of this? Am I trusting my family to get me out of this? Am I trusting my job to get me out of this? What am I putting my trust in other than God, who's proven himself to be faithful, that is causing me to think that this situation is hopeless or catastrophic? And again, that comes back to confronting that anxiety with the truth. And that has worked really well for me. Another thing that, don't say this to anxious people. Well, at least you're not, put that in your pocket and sit on that, because when somebody comes to you and they actually have the courage to admit that they're feeling anxious about something, like, don't turn it into the trauma Olympics. Like, well, like, yes, your trauma is this, but I know of another person who had this problem. Like, you can tell people what helped you, but don't try to like outshine their problem. I was thinking back and I was like, there was a lot of people, again, with Jesus going through, and people were like reaching out at him and they were grabbing him, and the lady grabbed the hem of his garment, and crowds were pushing, which I have a feeling that Jesus was an introvert like me because of the naps and whatnot, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, like the amount of people that were just like, the throngs of people that were just like always in his space and like quite literally taking his energy. But not one time did Jesus stop them and be like, oh, your kid is sick? Well, guess what? When I go back home, nobody has any respect for me. Oh, you've had this issue of blood for 12 years? Well, guess what? In 3 years, they're going to beat me to death and hang me on a cross. Like, Jesus never stopped anybody and was like, that's fine that you have that problem, but at least you're not going to have to go through what I'm going to have to go through. He never did that. So why do we do that to other people? There's a positive way to do that, but I think that has to come from within.
Right.
I actually do that to myself. I'm like, when I have one of the like pity party, sorry for me moments, I'm like, okay, let's think about all of the good things that are happening in your life. But sometimes that looks like me starting with, you're not going through cancer like your sorority sister, and you're not going through a divorce like this person that and you're not going through, it's like sometimes it starts with, there are so many people that I know that are going through stuff that is worse than anything that I'm facing. That helps me to come back to a place of gratitude, and gratitude and joy are the things that kind of can help to pull you out of that. But that's not something